But Ricky Bo did not feel good about the fighting Phils this weekend. Friday night, the Mizorowski, showed why he might be the true frontrunner for the Cy Young in the National League. As much as we love Sanchez, what Mizorowski did was 95 pitches in a complete game where you also strike out 15? How's that even possible?
He was sick.
He faced the minimum.
You face the minimum. You strike out 15. You don't walk anybody. You erase the and I'm going to tell you, he would have thrown a perfect game. If he did not throw a dumb pitch to Kyle Schwarber in that at-bat where he singled, he throws him a first-pitch slider. Why? Why would you speed up somebody's bat like that? It just made no sense. He should have had a perfect game against the Phillies. And I will say this much. Say what you want, but that would have been a test. And if you want to look at the Phillies and you want to judge the Phillies off of good teams, you would take who? The Braves, the Dodgers, the Brewers. Basically those three teams, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It's not good.
You want to know what their numbers are against those three teams since you brought it up?
It's not good. I know that.
So against the three National League division leaders, the Brewers, the Dodgers, and the Braves.
Are they 3-6?
3-9.
3-9.
So I got this from Paul Casella, MLB.com. The Phillies are 3-9 against those teams. Here's the bigger issue. They faced a lot of the pitchers that they're probably going to have to face in October. Harrison and Mizorowski for the Brewers.
Sale.
Yamamoto, Sasaki, and Wroblewski for the Dodgers. Sale, Elder, Holmes, and Perez for the Braves. In those 10 starts that those pitchers have started, the pitchers have a combined 1.43 ERA against the Phillies, and the Phillies are hitting 160 against them. So, yeah, I mean, we could talk about the Phillies' record, and we had Jason Stark on last week saying, hey, this team, they're flawed, but they find ways to win. They're not finding ways to win against good teams. And who do you have to beat in October, Ricky? Last time I checked.
Well, usually it's the good teams.
Usually it's the good teams. Like, is this? Are you concerned?
Excuse me. Oh, yeah. This Milwaukee team is scary. Like, that lefty that pitched yesterday, not great, but Phillies don't hit lefties. And ever. So he's a valuable commodity for that team if they were to meet in the playoffs. And then Mizorowski? Well, I have to say, I thought Sanchez was going to be a shoo-in for the Cy Young this year, or at least, like, you know, be the top mention. I don't know how that guy's not a top mention. Mizorowski is just filthy. 103, 104 miles an hour. He could, and the worst part is he spots the baseball. He's, I mean, head and shoulders above anybody else that I've seen. That was one of those games where I just looked and went, wow.
Now, from a pitcher's perspective, Ricky, can he keep this up with how hard he's throwing? Is he going to get hurt?
I don't think a lot of these guys can. This is why you rarely see. Look at Spencer Strider. He's now on the IL again with an elbow injury. You remember him? He threw hard. Never pitched well against the Phillies. I remember all that much, but you know what? He threw the ball hard. He ended up with injuries. I think you always end up with injuries, one way or the other. It's just a matter of how long it takes to get to you. And at that speed, I don't see how he could make the whole season. I just don't. You're putting so much strain on your elbow, your shoulder, every single time you go out there. Have a hard time believing.
Yeah, so hard time believing he can keep it up. But what about your Phillies? Can you believe in them? Because the issue now lies, I wasn't on the show Friday. You got the news while Ray was hosting. Adolis Garcia might be out for the year with the torn lat. I know they put him on the 60-day IL, but
would it surprise you if he comes back? If he doesn't come back?
No, it would not. I would be more surprised if he comes back and contributes in a meaningful way. So now they have to go out and they sign this Derek Hill, or they make the trade for Derek Hill. If you missed it, I think Silvana said it in the updates. They've optioned Stuart Baroa back to AAA after he comes back from the paternity list, which means Rincones is going to stay up here. So now your outfield consists of, against right-handed pitching, Marsh, Crawford, Rincones, and right. And against left-handed pitching, Sosa, Derek Hill, and Brandon Marsh. And this does not sound like a championship caliber outfield. I mean, we've been saying that for a few years, but really now it highlights, like Adolis Garcia, we were worried about what he was doing in right. Now you don't have Garcia, and what's the plan? Is it really Rincones and Derek Hill platooning in center so you could slide Marsh to right field? And Sosa's now, he's a big part of your outfield? A guy who was a shortstop his whole career?
There is a lot going on. I mean, when you look at this team right now, you saw Hill. What did you see Hill yesterday? Boot kicking the ball around?
Yeah,
come on. You're a big leaguer. Field the ball. Yeah. There is no answer in right field right now. I think the only answer would be the way you wanted to go, but I don't even think that's a good answer. So Baroa is now sent down. Hey, congratulations. See you later.
Yeah, and when you say the way I want it to go, you talking about moving Bryce to the outfield?
Yeah. I don't know if there's any other way to go.
Yeah,
And I'm trying to be fair about it in a sense that, but nothing seems to work right now.
And it's not only.
Go ahead.
I was going to say it's not only your outfield, it's also your shortstop in Trea Turner right now is really struggling. Trea Turner is now hitting a smooth .219 with an OPS of .599. He goes 0 for 4 yesterday in another shutout loss for the Phils. After the game, Don Mattingly was asked, is it time to sit Trea for a little bit? Here's the interim manager.
Something we'll look at and talk about. Nothing really other than just Trea's just not having success. And right now, when you're not having success, it never looks good. I know Trea's struggling to get it going and all that. But, we'll look at it day to day where he's at. And over the next probably, let's say 2 weeks to 3, we're going to try to make sure guys getting off their feet a little bit. So, and Trea be possibly one of those guys too, just like everybody else.
All right, Ricky. So there's Don Mattingly. Mm-hmm. It worked when they sat Alec Bohm. He's been a lot better since he had that 2-day reset. If you're the manager of the Phillies, is Trea in the lineup tonight?
Absolutely not. I said on Sunday I would have sat him. He is and I'm going to say this the nicest way possible. He's a mess right now. I mean, this guy is so much better than what we're seeing. His swing is extremely long. Okay? Think about this for a second. I want you to picture last year, and you could look at a guy right now that's playing for the Phillies, Brandon Marsh. I know it's the opposite side of the plate. Think about Brandon Marsh. Why is he hitting for average? Because he's not in a guessing game. He's hitting the ball where the ball is pitched. He's reaction to the pitch coming out of the hand. That's step 2. You look at Trea Turner. Does he look like he knows what's coming? Does he look like he has any grasp on what's being thrown to him right now?
He looks lost, man.
Yes, it's a single. The answer is he has no idea what's going on. And why do I say that? Because of what he said, and I said it actually before he said it last night. He's missing pitches that are kind of given to him, their presence. He's missing those pitches right now, which tells me something is wrong mechanically, number 1, in his swing. Number 2, his swing is way too stinking long. Yeah, have you seen where he's finishing? He does that little whirl above his head, like after he finishes. That's not a good baseball swing. That's not a Trea Turner swing. I know that factually. And you literally got to show him film from last year and say, this is where we need you to get back to. And whether it takes a day, 2 days, 4 days, or a week, you have to get him back there because this guy's not helping anybody, including his own psyche.
You know what it's time for, right?
Sit him down.
Or another standing ovation. Is it time for another standing O, Ricky? We know how much you loved the first one.
The hell with this.
So, Ricky.
You really think I'm going to say yes?
No, I know. I'm just trying to get under your skin. But I heard Ray Dunn say something on Middays I couldn't believe. I went back to fact check it. Right now, Trea Turner's OPS is .599. When the crowd gave him a standing ovation on August 4th, 2023, do you know what his OPS was?
Go.
667.
Yeah, it was higher.
So when the fans gave Trea Turner a standing O 3 years ago, he was actually having a better season than what we're seeing right now. How crazy is that to think about?
That is unbelievable that he has taken this big of a drop. I mean, he was the batting champion last year. Does he look like a batting champion?
No, not at all. You don't even look like a big leaguer right now.
Right. Usually you don't lose that. Usually it's there. You know what I mean? Usually I love how, you look at the back of a baseball card. He's not getting to the back of last year's baseball card. I'm telling you that much right now. And this is a guy that they need. He may be the biggest problem right now on the team, period.
And
you know that?
On a team with a lot of problems, you might be right, too. And now, this bullpen that we thought was going to be the strongest bullpen in years, Alvarado and Brad Keller, your big offseason acquisition. Keller looks terrible, man.
Keller looks lost.
How do you fix all these problems?
Alvarado has not been good since he's come back last year. Okay? Every reliever's going to find that nut every once in a while where they're throwing the ball well. But when you are inconsistent like these guys have been, how do you have a trust in them? I want you to think back to 2008. Why was Brad Lidge so good? Because he had what's his name, Romero and Ryan Madsen in front of him. That's why.
Yeah, Romero was great that postseason.
I know, but what I'm trying to tell you is I've closed in this league before. I understand. If you have two guys in front of you that are throwing the ball well, it makes your job easier. Why? First and foremost, the momentum does not swing against you. And number two, obviously, if they do their job and the Phils tack on runs in the bottom of an inning every now and again, then you don't even have to go pitch and you save your arm. I don't know. Keller has not been good for most of the year. He's had, and it's weird because he's had glimpses of being okay. Alvarado's been not good all season. He hasn't been good since he's come back from that suspension.
No, and then you have to question, well, why is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what was he suspended for, and is that the reason why? But look, they got a lot of issues, and Todd Zalecki of MLB.com was on Middays with Marks today talking about what they might do at the deadline. I want to get to that, but as we're talking about Trea Turner, we got a first-time caller that got so fired up about Trea Turner they picked up the phone and called us. So we're going to go to Shelby from PA. What's going on, Shelby?
I can't stand the way Trea Turner swings at the ball. When he swings through the ball, his hands go up in the air behind him like a ballet dancer. He's good on the field, but his batting is horrible. Why can't the batting people straighten him out?
Shelby, maybe we need to get rid of Kevin Long and bring you on board because you're saying the same thing Ricky's been saying about the Turner swing. You got any experience coaching hitters?
What?
Do you have any experience coaching hitters in baseball?
No, I'm 89 years old.
Oh, love it. Love the energy, Shelby.
Well, I've been watching every single game. I have been watching it for a long time, and I keep seeing this ugly, ugly swing. I thought, you know what? I got to pick up the phone.
Yep.
Well, we appreciate it. We appreciate you watching and appreciate you giving us a call. I mean, she's right, though, Ricky. The Turner swing is ugly right now.
It is ugly. Here's the thing. When you're a major leaguer, especially a table setter, is that a fair assessment of him? He should be a table setter?
Especially if he was still batting leadoff, but yes, for sure.
Yeah, but even in the two spot, you should still be a table setter. That, to me, is a contact guy. That, to me, is a line drive guy. That means a short, quick swing. That's interesting because his swing right now is nothing near that. And she's absolutely right. We call it a helicopter follow through because he spins the bat after he goes through his swing. But that's just because he keeps getting fooled. He's not on pitches, and when you start to swing through pitches, that's what happens. You get these weird looking swings, uppercut type swings. He looks absolutely lost. And if you were to tell me that you had sat down Alec Boehm earlier in the season and it helped them out, why the hell have you not done it for Turner yet?
I got to believe it happens tonight.
I know why. Who would take his place?
Well, now that becomes a bigger issue because you have Sosa playing outfield now. So it's a little harder to say, all right, well, Sosa's going to play short because you don't have enough fielders in the outfield that you could even field right now. You just sent Stuart Baroa down. Rincones Jr., he can't hit left-handers. He wasn't able to hit left-handers at AAA. He's certainly not going to be able to hit them at the big league level. This is a big issue, and that's why it was important what Todd Zielecki was talking about today on Middays with Marks. When we look at all these issues, the outfield, Trea Turner, the bullpen, the back end of the rotation, all of these issues, they don't have anybody in their farm system, one, that they could call up, or two, that has a lot of value for them to trade for someone. So this trade deadline, I know a lot of people are expecting a big swing. It might not happen. Here was Zielecki on what they could do at the deadline.
Boy, I feel like it's another Bader, another Austin Hayes type trade. If you look at the Phillies farm system, they're not terribly deep, especially now that Painter and Crawford have kind of graduated from prospect status. So they don't have a lot of like big names. You know, if I had a big time bat, a right-handed bat, especially one under team control, that means I have to get somebody I'm like almost certain is going to be a stud for me if I trade this guy away. And who do the Phillies have right now in the system that you feel that way about? Gage Wood. That's the guy. That's the guy. I would demand it if I had, again, an everyday impact right-handed bat. That conversation starts with Gage Wood. No, we're not trading Gage Wood. Well, who are you going to get then? Dante Nori, Arun Escobar. They're both struggling in Double-A, and they're just in Double-A. So they're in a tough spot, and that's why I do think it's more of a Bader type of guy. It's more of an Austin Hayes type of guy. But I do think that they need to go out and do something. I think that's the plan.
All right, so that was Todd Zielecki. He does a great job covering the Phillies for MLB.com. He was on Middays with Marks. I'm listening to that today, driving into the studio, Ricky, and I'm literally cursing at my radio about Dave Dombrowski. Because what the hell has this guy done? Dave Dombrowski comes here with the Hall of Fame resume, and he's got all this, look what he did in Detroit, and look what he did in Miami, look at all these things he's done. And then he comes here, and you're telling me the farm system's in worse shape. You give a 13-year contract to Trea Turner. You give all that money to Nick Castellanos, and now you're eating it. You trade for a guy like Austin Hayes, it doesn't work out. You get Whit Merrifield, it doesn't work out. You get Max Kepler, it doesn't work out. You get Adolis Garcia, it doesn't work out. You sign Taijuan Walker, you had to eat that money. I mean, is this franchise in a better spot before Dave Dombrowski got here or now? And I know they're winning a lot of games, and that sounds crazy to say, but is Dombrowski doing a great job? Because the farm system's the worst shape it's been in years, and this team's got a bunch of contracts. Oh, did I mention the Aaron Nola contract? You chose Aaron Nola. You had to trade away or let Ranger Suarez walk away. You couldn't even trade him. You had to let him walk away. Like, we should be outraged with the job Dave's doing.
A bunch of guys go. Logan O'Hoppe, if you remember that.
Well, that got Marsh, right?
That was, I believe it was the Marsh.
Yeah, that got you Marsh.
Was that Syndergaard? No.
What? Who else you traded, you mean?
No. Yeah, I guess you're right. I think that was the Marsh trade.
It was Marsh, but I forget who else was in that trade.
But, I mean, my whole theory is you can't keep chucking these guys out for mid-range guys. They really haven't thrown, like, their top prospects out there for, like, top-notch players because that's not really what they're looking for. And whatever the heck he's been looking for in the outfield, it hasn't worked. So stop looking in that direction. Go the other way. Try something else. Try something new. Because right now, you're stuck. Here's what's happening. And you asked me a better team now or before. They're a better team like now. Come on. They went to the World Series, went to the NLCS.
I didn't say team. I said was the franchise in a better position.
Oh, right now right now. See, here's the issue. I believe right now they're starting to head into that gray area. And I think you do too, which is why you just brought that up.
Yeah, when you look at the state of the franchise, we could be headed for some really dark years.
Well, you only got, 10 more years of Trea?
Yeah, I think 7 more years of Trea. I try to block out how many more years of Aaron Nola, but there's a lot more years left with Aaron Nola. And then I know this might not be Dombrowski's fault, but the big prospect that was untouchable at every deadline was Andrew Painter. And now, what do you got in Andrew Painter? We haven't even talked about that, Ricky. On Friday, they have to go with an opener? Like, that's where we are with Painter now, that he can't even start the damn game. You got to roll out Tanner Banks in the first inning. And guess what? Tanner Banks isn't great either.
By the way, I had no idea what they were doing. We were on air, and I'm like, wait a minute. I thought he was hurt or had a migraine or something. They should have used that excuse again because that's the one game it seemed to have worked. But you're talking about a guy that's supposed to be your top prospect that you have to use an opener? What is going on? What is going on? you know what this is? We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and we don't want to be embarrassed, so we got to find different ways to make him look good, and that didn't work either.
Look, as Vic Fangio said,
I'm down on the Phillies.
I think I'm down on the Phillies. I want to feel good about them, and I know it was only one series. But when you watch this team play against the upper echelon teams in the National League, you realize how far away they are. They are so far away. The other crazy thing, too, Ricky, is I think a very telling statistic when you look at the standings is the run differential. The Philadelphia Phillies are a negative 23 run differential. Like, I know they have a winning record. They're 5 games over 500. A negative 23 run differential. The Braves are a plus 107. The Dodgers are a plus 141. The Brewers are a plus 112. And the Phillies are a negative 23. That tells you a lot about a team. And even though they're finding ways to win against bad teams, they're not up there with these teams, man.
Well, that really tells you that you're right. They're not up there as high as those teams. As a matter of fact, I think it's proven in their head-to-head record. That's first and foremost. But you go secondly, why is their run differential like this? Because you know what that shows? It shows a major inconsistency in your team. That's what it shows. Because you can go even further and go to the Washington Nationals. Washington Nationals are a game and a half behind the Phillies, and they have a plus 13. How in the world does that happen?
It's frustrating,
saying,
man.
Some of these numbers may not make sense to a lot of people, but some of them should. You should kind of look at the good teams, and you see that run differential as a lot. You know why? They know how to finish games. They know how to beat teams down. Phillies don't know how to do that.
What's up, everybody? It's Bill Colarulo from Unfiltered, my man Ricky Bo. Make sure you're listening live every weekday 2 to 6, but also make sure you like and subscribe to the Fanatic YouTube page because we're posting content like this all day long. It's not only what you hear and see on air, so make sure you like and subscribe. Best YouTube channel out there. Talk soon.